before the relentless, frantic noise of the external world and the chaotic, deeply unhealed matrix of societal expectations dictate another moment of your day. Deliberately and intentionally stop. Right here, in this fiercely protected, intensely sacred, and heavily grounded container of time, draw a deep, anchoring breath directly into the very center of your physical being. Inhale slowly, pulling thick, restorative, and rebellious air past your chest, all the way down into the quietest, most hidden chambers of your heart and your visionary mind. Hold it for a singular, echoing heartbeat, allowing that pure cosmic oxygen to locate the stagnant energy, the outdated social programming, and the exhausting mental chains you have been unknowingly carrying in your bones. Exhale, permanently dropping a massive, suffocating boulder of collective conformity, traditional pressures, and the exhausting need to fit in from your tired shoulders. Completely unclench your jaw, releasing the visceral memory of silencing your unique truth to satisfy a partner's limited vision. Soften your eyes, drop your heavy shoulders, and let the physical floor entirely support your weight. You are fundamentally, undeniably safe in this space. You are fiercely recognized for your radiant, raw, and entirely eccentric essence, and your absolute, divine right to love in a way that defies every convention. We are currently standing at a staggering, intensely profound, and deeply revolutionary energetic intersection. The date is May 6. This is absolutely not a day for casual observation, and it is certainly not a day for playing small, adhering to old rules, or retreating into the familiar, suffocating shadows of your old, repetitive relationship patterns. This is a day of absolute, breathtaking, and terrifyingly beautiful cosmic deconstruction. On this highly specific, mathematically precise point in the universe, we are being ignited by a profoundly rare, fiercely transformative astrological shift. Today, Pluto, the ancient, ruthless lord of the underworld and alchemist of truth, officially begins its long, retrograde journey through the innovative and visionary sign of Aquarius. Simultaneously, the Eta Aquariids meteor shower reaches its absolute peak, sending thousands of burning celestial streaks through our atmosphere like cosmic arrows of awakening. This is not a gentle transit. This is a massive, tectonic shift in the collective consciousness of how we relate. When Pluto moves retrograde in Aquarius, it turns its piercing, obsidian gaze toward the structures of our freedom, our friendships, and our long-term visions for love. It is a literal energetic code, a massive, foundational software update for your relational independence, being downloaded directly into your nervous system, your third eye, and your sense of belonging. It is completely, irrevocably destroying your outdated internal blueprint for normal love and replacing it with an empire of absolute, radical authenticity. Let us deeply, courageously examine what is actually happening within your spirit as the planet of deep transformation forces you to look at the shadows of your own freedom. Aquarius is the energy of the rebel, the visionary, and the humanitarian. It rules our hopes, our dreams, and our ability to stand outside the crowd. For a very, very long time, you have been operating in a state of exhausting, emotional conformity. Because of your deep, beautifully complex soul and your profound desire for connection, you have lived in a chronic, agonizing cycle of performing the acceptable partner. You have taken your beautiful, entirely valid eccentricities, the parts of you that want a different kind of life, the parts of you that value independence over codependency, the parts of you that dream of a love that doesn't look like anyone else's, and you have relentlessly suppressed them to fit into the standard, suffocating narrative of what a relationship should be. You have desperately, constantly policed your own need for space. You have felt a deep, instinctive flare of claustrophobia when a connection felt too traditional or too controlling, only to immediately gaslight yourself, convincing your mind that you were just being uncommitted or fearful of intimacy. You have gone to absolute war against your own visionary nature to defend the comfort of a romantic partner who was terrified of your independence, swallowing your own profound need for intellectual freedom and social evolution just to protect the fragile, toxic ecosystem of a connection that required you to remain predictable. You took your primal, vital, emotional life force, your beautiful capacity to revolutionize your world, and you locked it in a heavy, dark, subterranean vault. Because someone in your past convinced you that your independence was selfish, that your unique ideas were weird, or that your demand for an unconventional life made you unlovable. You fell deeply, tragically, into the devastating habit of performing emotional compliance. You became fiercely addicted to the noble, exhausting, completely self-destructive crusade of pretending you didn't need your freedom, hoping that if you just followed the rules, you would finally secure the belonging you so desperately craved. But as the profound, transformative energy of this May 6 peak arrives, as the Eta Aquariids streak through the sky like literal bursts of insight, and as Pluto officially turns backward to dismantle your chains, the dizzying fog of your relational conformity is suddenly, violently, and beautifully burning away. This alignment is sparking a massive, irreversible, spiritual rebellion directly within your romantic core. It is the sudden, striking, physical realization of the sovereign visionary who finally stops apologizing for their uniqueness and demands the absolute luxury of being loved for their radical truth. You are experiencing a literal, physical shockwave of revolutionary clarity. The heavy, intoxicating, deeply addictive illusion that you must conform to be loved is shattering into a million unrecoverable pieces. You are suddenly seeing the past, the toxic power dynamics, the ways you traded your freedom for fake security, and the agonizing lack of true, intellectual partnership with a stark, almost blinding realism. You are looking at the people who wanted you to be a standard version of yourself, and for the first time, you do not feel the desperate urge to perform for them. You do not feel the heavy, clawing responsibility to be their safe, predictable harbor, while they continuously refuse to acknowledge your vast, visionary soul. You are finally, deeply understanding that your vital, brilliant independence, yes, even your absolute refusal to follow the crowd, was never meant to be suppressed just to keep an insecure partner comfortable. This is the absolute, permanent death of the people-pleasing conformist within your romantic blueprint. You are finally dropping the heavy, rusted mask of false normalcy. You are taking your immense, beautiful, terrifying Aquarian depth back from the realm of the denied. You are finally realizing that true, sovereign love requires the absolute, terrifying courage to build a connection that is entirely your own design. Listen to the sound of my voice and let these words sink into the deepest, most permanent layers of your physical bones and your subconscious mind. Pluto is doing the profound work of making you free. It is taking you by the hand and walking you out of the prison of shoulds, pointing at the stars falling across the sky and showing you that your love life is meant to be a revolution, not a routine. This retrograde is handing you the magnificent, obsidian sword of absolute authenticity, demanding that you stop betraying your future for the sake of an outdated past. For so long, you have operated in a state of exhausting emotional restriction. This monumental cosmic shift is stepping powerfully into your energetic field right now, placing its warm, heavy, incredibly steady hands firmly on your shoulders, looking you dead in the eye and whispering a profound, ultimate, and unshakable truth into your soul. Your uniqueness is not a liability. It is your greatest magnetism. Your demand for a partner who celebrates your freedom is not an inconvenience. It is your absolute divine right. True, authentic, and profoundly aligned love is not supposed to require the cold, calculated assassination of your individuality. You are currently undergoing a radical, highly accelerated evolutionary upgrade. You are being meticulously recalibrated to handle the intense, beautiful, and heavy frequency of true, unfiltered, visionary devotion. You find yourself suddenly, inexplicably repulsed by the shallow, controlling, and deeply uninspired dynamics that you used to tolerate out of habit. The idea of playing a pre-written role or following a traditional, suffocating script suddenly feels profoundly insulting to your intelligence and your spirit. You are looking at the confusing, emotionally safe but ultimately hollow partners you used to accept, and you are feeling an unshakable, elevated intolerance for anything less than absolute, burning devotion backed by a shared, brilliant vision for the future. This is not you becoming cold or detached. This is you becoming sovereign. This is you stepping into the absolute luxury of your own unapologetic truth. You are finally deciding that the cost of belonging to someone else will no longer be the loss of yourself. Do not dare to judge the past versions of yourself for the heavy, rusted armor of conformity they wore. They did the absolute best they could with the unhealed wounds of rejection and the deep-seated fear they carried. I want you to deeply, profoundly, and entirely forgive yourself right now, in this sacred second. I want you to let the sound of my voice be the final, absolute permission you need to completely release the heavy, suffocating burden of your social shame and the guilt of being different. Let your physical voice vibrate in the actual air around you. Do not just think these words, give them weight, mass, and sound. Speak it out loud with the visceral force of an unshakable, ancient, and eternal truth. I completely, entirely, and unconditionally forgive myself for hiding my radical truth. I forgive myself for the masks I wore and the precious freedom I sacrificed just to be accepted by those who could not see me. I forgive myself for pouring my incredibly potent, visionary energy into people who were terrified of my light and intimidated by my depth. I forgive myself for believing, even for a moment, that I had to be normal or predictable to be worthy of profound love. I completely, permanently release the heavy, rusted chains of my social conformity. I completely and irrevocably sever all energetic cords to the people who weaponized my uniqueness against me or made me feel small. I call all of my vital, brilliant, terrifyingly beautiful, and deeply visionary energy back from every timeline and every connection directly into my own body. I reclaim my freedom. I integrate my rebel. I am finally, deeply, and irrevocably open to the absolute abundance of wildly revolutionary, intensely loyal, and flawlessly authentic love. I boldly claim my entire self. I claim my sovereign vision. I permanently claim my entirely new, liberated reality. Breathe that declaration into the marrow of your bones. Feel the air in the room thicken with the golden frequency of your own reclamation. You are no longer asking for permission to exist as you are. You are commanding it. You are stepping out of the shadows of should and into the sunlight of I am. The era of your self-suppression has reached its absolute end. You are crossing the bridge from being a fragmented survivor of social pressure into being the integrated alchemist of your own destiny. This is the moment your true life begins, not the one you were told to have, but the one you were born to create. Welcome to the magnificent, unshakable power of your own liberated soul. Breathe that massive, world-altering declaration deeply into the very nucleus of your physical cells. Do not just let these revolutionary words hover in the intellectual, superficial space of your conscious mind. Drag them down, heavily and deliberately, into your bloodstream, your muscle memory, and the ancient, echoing marrow of your bones where your true identity has been waiting to be reclaimed. Feel the actual, undeniable physical shift occurring in the temperature and the molecular density of the room surrounding you right now. Feel the oxygen become incredibly thick, highly charged, fiercely supportive, and shimmering with a heavy, explosive, electric golden terrestrial light. You are actively, consciously, and irreversibly crossing the roaring, burning bridge that separates the suffocating, grey timeline of the confined conformist directly from the limitless, brilliantly neon timeline of the sovereign, visionary alchemist. You can feel the intense, blistering heat of the old, predictable world burning to absolute ash right behind your back. You can hear the heavy, rusted structures of your past societal programming crashing down into the abyss, completely destroyed by the sheer force of your radical authenticity. But you absolutely do not turn around. You do not mourn the comfort of the herd. You simply keep walking straight ahead, your spine perfectly straight, stepping directly into the majestic, visionary reality that you have so fiercely earned. You must deeply understand and meticulously prepare your nervous system for the absolute certainty that you will be tested in the rapidly approaching coming weeks as Pluto officially begins its slow, relentless, backward march through the sign of the future. The universe will always send a pop quiz to ensure that your newly established, rebellious foundation is forged in impenetrable iron, and not just softly drawn in the shifting sand of temporary inspiration. The desperate, hungry ghosts of your old, unhealed needs for validation, and the lingering shadows of your past social conditioning will inevitably try to drift back into your newly cleared energetic field. An old pressure to settle for a normal relationship might suddenly surface out of nowhere. A visceral, paralyzing fear of being too weird or too independent might rear its head, tempting you with the exhausting, familiar urge to pick up the old, heavy mask of compliance just to make others feel comfortable. Your wounded ego will scream at you to shut down your visionary insights, to diminish your eccentricities, or to run back to the safe, suffocating arms of what is familiar. It will want to see if the insecure, compliant version of you is still running the show behind the scenes. But when this happens, and it absolutely will happen, you are going to experience the ultimate, exhilarating, deeply physical victory of your brand new, heavily anchored frequency. You will look directly at the social pressure, the judgment of the crowd, and the desperate urge to fit in, and you will feel absolutely nothing but a calm, elevated, completely untouchable self-respect. You will not fold. You will hold your own hand through the change. You will quietly, beautifully, elegantly, and decisively refuse to let the outdated past dictate your visionary future. Now, I want you to take one final, incredibly deep, purposefully anchoring breath right in this exact, sacred second. Place both of your warm, capable, incredibly healing hands firmly and warmly over your heart and your throat, the bridge between your deepest feelings and your ultimate truth. Press down gently, reminding yourself that you are physically here, occupying this magnificent human vessel, completely safe in the present moment. Close your heavy, tired eyes. Feel the steady, ancient, entirely reliable, and beautifully rhythmic pulse of your own massive, liberated life force thumping steadily beneath your palms. That heartbeat is the relentless, victorious drum of your total sovereignty. That physical sensation of vibration is the ultimate proof that you survived everything that was designed to make you a carbon copy of everyone else. Everything you have experienced in this entire lifetime up until this exact, precise moment. Every single bitter tear you cried, feeling like an outsider. Every agonizing betrayal by those who feared your independence. Every exhausting, repetitive attempt to hide your true, eccentric self from the world was absolutely not a cosmic punishment. It was merely the turbulent, deeply necessary, expertly designed, and profoundly purposeful cosmic bridge required to get you exactly here, to this very breath, to this profound, undeniable realization of your staggering, limitless, visionary power to build a love life that defies every single rule. If these specific, highly charged, electric words have successfully bypassed the heavy, anxious, overthinking patterns of your logical mind and spoken directly, intimately, and flawlessly to the deep, ancient, unshakable wisdom of your spirit, do not let this wildly powerful, revolutionary, energetic window close without firmly claiming it, like this message. Do not do it just out of an unconscious, modern scrolling habit. Instead, let the very physical, tangible, deliberate action of pressing that button be a grounded, silent, unbreakable signature on your brand new, completely upgraded contract with the cosmos. It is you firmly, bravely, and physically declaring to the vast universe that you are finally, irrevocably ready to stop apologizing for your freedom and fully open your arms to receive absolute, visionary abundance. Do not keep this profound, earth-shaking awakening locked away within the silent, echoing chambers of your own mind. The universe does not just suggest, it demands that you broadcast your new frequency into the collective consciousness. Share your profound journey, your revolutionary shifts, and your deep, brilliant realizations in the comments below. Declare your brand new, unapologetic, and fiercely non-negotiable standard of love for the entire world to witness. Use your actual, specific, unfiltered, and deeply visceral words to carve your truth into reality. Tell the infinite universe exactly what kind of superficial, controlling, or traditional dynamics you are absolutely and permanently no longer available to tolerate within your sacred space. Outline exactly, with crystal clear and cutting precision, what kind of fierce, visionary, and intellectually stimulating love you are actively calling into your orbit right now. Let your physically typed words act as an unbreakable, heavy, electric, golden, energetic anchor, plunging straight through the digital veil and into the material plane. This is not just text on a screen, it is a manifestation of your sovereign will. You must realize that your specific story, your exact, unfiltered words of raw liberation, and your terrifyingly beautiful vulnerability might be the precise, exact, vibrational key that someone else in this rapidly elevating community desperately needs to encounter today to finally stop running from their own beautiful, unique truth. Your bravery is the lighthouse for another's storm, a signal flare in the dark for those still trapped in the shadows of conformity. Do not hold back a single syllable of your desire. The universe does not respond to whispers, it responds to the roar of a soul that has finally decided it will no longer settle for the mundane. Declare the end of superficial connections and the birth of a partnership that is a literal revolution of the spirit. Outline the intellectual fire, the psychic depth, and the unshakable loyalty of the equal you are summoning from the quantum field. By writing it here, you are carving it into the fabric of reality itself. Subscribe to this exact frequency of absolute relational sovereignty and massive visionary integration. Keep your spirit strictly, fiercely, and beautifully tethered to this highly elevated, unapologetically unique vibration as we continue to actively, bravely, and consciously navigate these massive, paradigm-shifting cosmic waves together in the transformative months to come. You are part of a new lineage of lovers, those who refuse to diminish their brilliance for the sake of a fragile ego. Now, right in this moment, take one more intentional, wildly expansive, and lungs-filling breath. Feel the oxygen expand not just your chest, but your very spirit. Fill your entire, magnificent human vessel with the vibrant, luxurious, electric, and golden energy of your completely unapologetic, passionately alive, brand new beginning. Feel this frequency rushing through your nervous system, recalibrating you for greatness. Exhale the thin, pathetic, and desperately tired echoes of your past, shame, and societal guilt. Blow those heavy, suffocating memories of playing small and hiding your light completely and irrevocably away into the infinite cosmic void, where they can never touch your frequency again. You are profoundly, incredibly, and undeniably safe to be different. You are miraculously safe to be the visionary you were born to be. The suffocating, punishing era of hiding your vision and shrinking your light to avoid the judgment of the small-minded is permanently, entirely over. The toxic gray illusion of the compliant, predictable partner is dead. The expansive, abundantly revolutionary, and fiercely protected reality of your authentic, liberated love life is finally, beautifully here. You have survived the fire, and you have emerged as the alchemist of your own destiny. Welcome home, beautiful, vast, and limitless soul, to the magnificent, undeniable, and world-altering magnitude of your own sovereign vision. Stand tall in your light. The universe is finally ready for the true, unfiltered version of you. Your reign of authenticity starts now.